If you're not trading in 2026, then what are you doing, my friends? But listen, you are in luck. I am going to break down in detail in this 15-minute video exactly what you're going to need to get started as a beginner or a trader that wants to actually get this done correctly. So the first thing I need you to do is like this video and hit that subscribe button because we have so many more resources for you to get going. Second thing, make sure you grab a pen and paper because we're going to take lots of notes and you're going to get lots of information. Alrighty, so let's get right into it. So number one, you're going to need a software, charting software, somewhere where you can actually see the candlesticks because you're going to be looking at the different companies, right? And you're going to want to be able to analyze and see what they're doing. So right now I'm looking at Tesla, and the only way that I'm able to look at Tesla's price action or what Tesla is doing, y'all, is by having a charting software. So the one that I suggest is tradingview.com. And I'm going to make sure I have all the links of these in my description box so you don't even have to go search for them. So what TradingView software that allows you to be able to get a visual of what the price is doing of these particular stocks. So for example, if it's a publicly traded company and you can search it, you can trade it. So there's Microsoft, there's Google, Apple, Nvidia, there's Amazon. One of the things that I like to do, y'all, I shop on Amazon, but I can make money on Amazon trading it as an option, y'all. So this is what we're doing here in 2026 and beyond, okay? So number one, need a charting software, okay? Second thing, you're going to need a brokerage, okay? A brokerage is an entity that is a third-party institution that allows you to actually trade, okay? So what the easiest way I want to describe it is think of it as a bank where you deposit your money into the brokerage and they are the ones that actually facilitate your trade, right? You're able to buy Amazon stocks or Amazon contracts. You're able to sell Amazon contracts in that brokerage. So in order to trade, you need a brokerage. My favorite one that I would suggest is if you're brand new to all of this is Webull, because of the fact that it's super user friendly and they do offer the paper trading option, okay? So what paper trading is think of it as a monopoly money option, right? Where you're going to get comfortable with the brokerage, buying into a trade, exiting a trade, and you have to get comfortable and practice essentially. And with paper trading, you get to practice while the market is open, which is really valuable. So those are the two first things important for us to get started. One, you need a charting software, tradingview.com, and two, you need a brokerage, Webull. All those links are in the description box. Now, I don't know about you, but I am a teacher of over 15 years, so vocabulary is one of my favorite things. My subject that I taught was reading, so having a resource or having something to refer back to is very near and dear to my heart. So I'm going to go into the teaching aspect of all the things that a beginner or a person that really wants to grasp this concept needs to know. So this is the heavy note-taking area here, all right? If I haven't lost you yet and you already learned something new, go ahead and smash that like button. Help me get this video to 1,000 likes, friends, all right? We're going to start with some beginner vocabulary. So as we were looking at that chart of Amazon just a second ago, we were looking at these things called candlesticks, all right? So candlesticks are simply showing us what price has done or is doing during that time period. It's just giving us a visual of what price did. A candle gives us 4 data points. It doesn't matter if it's a red candle or a green candle. They're all going to give us those 4 data points. This is what it's giving us. It's giving us the open, it's giving us the close, it's giving us the high, and it's giving us the low. There are 2 main parts of the candle. Okay, the big middle part, or I call it the torso. That's just how I remember it. That is called the body of the candle. Okay, so this area here is called the body. Even though this one is small, that's still the body. That's still the body. That's still the body. Okay, now with that being said, the next part of the candle is going to be the wick. Okay. As you can see, it's this little shadow. They also call it a shadow. It's sticking out above the candle and below. So we have some short wicks. We have some long wicks. There's different shapes of them, right? We might have a long wick at the top, short wick at the bottom, short wick at the top, longer wick at the bottom. But those are simply just called wicks or shadows. Now, it's important that you do not discount these wicks. The reason being, on the red candle and the green candle, the top wick tells us the highest that price got to during that time period. So even if it's a red candle, that top wick is still the high. Even if it's a green candle, that top wick is still the high. Same thing with the bottom wick. The bottom wick on both the red and the green candle are telling us the lowest price got to. The only difference that I want you to pay attention to when it comes to the green candle, bullish candle, candle or the red candle, bearish candle, is where price opened versus where it closed. On the green candle, price opens at the bottom. Price opens at the bottom of the body and closes at the top of the body. No matter if it's a big body or little body, on the green candle, price still opens at the bottom and closes at the top. Contrary to that, when it comes to a red candle, price opens at the top and closes at the bottom. So that's the main difference between the bullish candle, green, and the bearish candle, red. The type of trading that I do and the type of trading that I trade with my students on live every day. By the way, I trade live every day with my husband, 9:30 a.m. with hundreds of folks online, and they're learning a wonderful way to generate income and use the stock market as a vehicle to get them to the next level. So the type of trading that I do is I trade options, okay? Now, with options contracts or with options trading, you can make money if the market is going up and down, not or, and down, okay? You can make a trade in the same trading day, y'all. You can make a uptrend trade and a downtrend trade in the exact same trading day, which I'm like, yes, sign me up 10 times, okay? Now, the two type of option contracts that you're interested in purchasing, and this is easy because it's only two to remember, is a call or a put. Now, this is my favorite way to remember it. It's something that I use. It's just my background of being an elementary school teacher. I always wanted my kids to actually, absorb the information, so I had to find a way to make it stick. So when you're looking at a call, right, you see that price is moving up. So if we're watching Tesla, you heard of this is just an example, make it very clear. You heard that Elon just made a world agreement and he's going to be the #1 provider for all this specific little chip in everyone's house and everybody's car, and it's made by Tesla. So guess what? The Tesla stock is going to skyrocket, right? And it's moving up, and you're like, oh yeah, I need to get in on this because I believe it's going to continue to go up. That's a crazy deal. So if you see that price is trending up and you are expecting it to continue to go up, you would purchase a call contract. Once that contract or when that stock continues to go up, then your contracts are now in profit, and that's how you're able to sell in profit. Okay, you're predicting or you're expecting price to continue to move in that said direction. So think of it as this: if you are about to make a call to your friend, right, you are going to pick up the phone. So the call reminds you to you're expecting price to continue to go up. When you're done with your conversation with your friend, you put down the phone. So contrary to a call, you're seeing that price is going down and you believe it's going to continue to go down. So you buy a put contract. So the next day the news comes out, y'all. That news was fake. Elon said, nope, that wasn't me. I don't know anything about this wire. I would love to be that person, but it's not me. And guess what? Those Tesla contracts that was skyrocketing begin to plummet. Now you do your research and you're like, oh wow, that is in fact false news, or it wasn't valid information, and you're like, oh, I believe price is going to continue to drop. So you purchase put contracts. Once those put contracts get into value, right, price does in fact continue to drop, then your put contracts gain value and you're able to sell those in profit. So those are the two types of option contract you can purchase: call, up, price is going up, you believe it's going to continue to go up, put, down. Okay. All right, let's continue on our vocabulary. If you're liking this so far and you have not done so yet, go ahead and smash that like button because we're getting into it now. So let's get to some basic vocabulary words that all traders should know. Stock. Simply what that means, y'all, is a small piece of ownership of a company. Okay, so traditionally that's what all investors know. If I buy a piece of Apple shares and Apple's prices go up, my share value goes up and I make money. Okay, you are able to buy or sell and make money off of that stock, and those are usually for long-term holdings. Okay, now when it comes to ticker symbols, this is a term that means it's just a shorter letters used to identify the stocks, right, or ETF. So SPY, QQQ, TSLA, NVIDIA, you get to learn those, and those are the way that we're able to identify these particular stocks with a shorter name. Okay, now when it comes to option contract, it's a contract that gives the trader the right, not the obligation, to buy or sell a stock at a specific price before a set time. Now, I want you to remember this: one option contract usually controls 100 shares. So this is why options is a wonderful way to get into the market, where you are able to take advantage of these big stocks or these big companies like Tesla, Apple, NVIDIA, AMD. These companies usually make big moves, right? But in order to traditionally benefit off of these moves, you have to have a large amount of shares, right? Own a large amount of shares to see a return on your investment. And you have to let it sit there, right? And let it do its thing. When it comes to option contracts, we get to use one option contract gives us the value of 100 shares, okay? And we're able to leverage less capital, but still have a wonderful return on our investment, okay? Remember, we're talking about the two types of option contracts you can purchase. A call option, we believe that price is going to go up. Put option, we believe the price is going to go down, okay? Now, the next term I want to highlight is going to be strike price. That's the price or level listed inside the option contract, okay? So if there's a $500 strike price, that means that the contract is built around the $500 level. Okay. Now, when we go to expiration date, you remember how we were saying that you have the right, not the obligation, to buy or sell a stock by a certain date. This is where expiration date comes into play. This is where we have exercised our contract before it expires. Okay. So think of these contracts as coupons. So if you get a coupon to Starbucks, right? They say you have to use it before July 15th. Right? You know that, but I have to use this before July 15th or it's going to expire worthless. Okay. So when it comes to our expiration dates, there are different types. You can do 0 DTE, simply stands for 0 days to expiration. That means you need to exercise that contract before the end of business, which is 4 p.m. Eastern in the New York market. Okay. Or you can have end of the week contracts where the start of the week, right? You have until Friday. So if the trading week starts on Monday, you have until Friday to exercise that contract. Now, when you use a Friday, a later expiration date, what that does is it puts time on your side and it helps you give that opportunity for that particular stock to get to the price, your strike price for your contracts to gain value. Now, there are pros and cons to both 0 DTE and later out expiration, but this video would be a whole nother time. But just to give you an idea of what expiration dates are, okay? Now, premiums is the price you pay for the option contract. And this is very important here. If the premium is $2.50, you're not paying $2.50, y'all, for one contract. You're actually paying $250. So when you start to get into the option contracts and trying to see what premiums works for your account, all you have to do is when you see that decimal, just move it 2 places to the right to know how much you're actually going to be paying per contract, okay? Because there's a contract or a premium that fits your account size and you need to make sure you're aware of that. Cool. Now, when it comes to bids and asks, bids is the price buyers are willing to pay. That is the price that buyers are willing to pay. Ask is the price that sellers are asking for. Just like it, bids, ask, okay? And the spread simply speaks about the difference between the bids and the ask. Volume simply stands for how many shares of contracts are being traded during this time period, okay? Higher volume may show more interest in that move. So if we're seeing a high buying pressure, we are seeing high interest in that up move. If we're seeing a high selling pressure, there's a lot of interest in that down move. All right, let's go to some images now. So support and resistance is one of those terms that you're going to hear as a trader over and over again. So it's something that you need to make sure that you have ironed out. And so I'm super excited for you to be watching this video to have not only a visual, but also a definition to give you a reason why this thing is important and how it's going to help you in your trading. So where you are currently right now, there is a floor, right? If you would jump, it would support you, right? You wouldn't fall through that. And I want you to see on charts or on your tickers, you're going to see that levels of support are created. How do we find levels of support? Is seeing where price was trying to fall and was unable to continue to fall. That gives us our level of support. That is important for us because as a trader, if we're interested in a downtrend and we are not aware of this level of support, look what price action does. It is unable to continue to fall, which invalidates our downtrend, right? Our downtrend trade. And what does it do? It bounces right off of that level. So as a trader, my friends, identifying levels of support and resistance are very helpful for you to not only make sure you maximize the trade that you're in, but also you can possibly use it as an entry to the next term we're going to speak about is resistance. Okay. As you can see here, how resistance levels are created is that price was rising, and when it ran into these levels of resistance, it was unable to continue to rise. That is what creates resistance levels. Okay. So as you can see here, price was moving up, pushing up, found resistance and bounced down. As you can see, price rose again, found resistance and pushed down. But there is a time during price action, y'all, that price is able to finally break through a level of resistance or break through a level of support, right? And what that does now is that level of that used to be a resistance level now becomes a level of support. Do you see that? And that is how price action moves. It's not just moving willy-nilly. It's moving from level to level. So the quicker you're able to understand that and now iron down how am I going to identify my levels of resistance and support, and then you're able to make an informed decision on your entry. You're not just throwing your money in the market. All right, the next term that I want to cover is trend. Okay, there's 3 trends that we can identify in the market. There's an uptrend, a downtrend, and a sideways trend. So when it comes to an uptrend, my friends, an uptrend is created where we are finding ourselves making higher highs and higher lows continually. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Simply being said, y'all, price is moving up. It's continuing to go higher. Contrary to that, we have a downtrend. Downtrend is lower highs and lower lows. Price keeps moving down. Okay, now when we have a no trend or sideways trend, price is unable to make new highs or new lows. It's staying inside of a range or an area, what we would call so-called consolidation. Okay, so what you need to be able to identify and write this term down as you're taking notes: trend is your friend. We trade with the downtrend or we trade with the uptrend. We're not trying to trade in the sideways trend or no trend, my friends, okay? All right, y'all. So I hope this was very helpful for you, and I want you to take this away with you too. You know, I'm going to always have you like a little takeaway. So before you take a trade, slow down and answer these questions. What is the overall trend? Is it an uptrend or a downtrend? Where are these levels of support and resistance? What is my entry plan? If this happens, then I do that. That should be how your entry plan is labeled. Where is my stop loss? Never get into a trade unless you have your stop loss, okay? Where will I take profit? That is a level that you are going to lower your risk at, and you need to have that before you put your money in the market. How much am I risking? So many beginner traders feel like they want to swing for the hills in their first couple of trades. That is how you get exited out of this market quicker than you could ever think. So understanding your risk and the reward that you want to receive for your desired reward is so important. And finally, am I following my plan or reacting emotionally? Okay, so my friends, if you enjoyed this video thus far, make sure you have hit that subscribe button and help me get this video to 1,000 likes. Smash that thumbs up button. If you have not been able or unable to answer any of these checklist questions, you're in luck, y'all. I'm gonna break down my exact plan, how I do all of these things, where I identify all these things for you in my free masterclass. Okay, so in order to get into that free class, all you have to do is comment the word class down below. I'm gonna break down everything in detail for you. So I hope this was helpful. If you have not liked this video yet, make sure you do that, and I will see you on the next one. I hope you have a blessed day, a blessed week, a blessed month, and a blessed rest of the year. See you soon.